Hey everyone, this is part 2 of this study on the Ark of the Covenant. And I need to just recap a little bit on part 1 before I go into part 2, because it's really, really important. It's always been God's intention to have mankind in his image and likeness. Okay, Genesis, we covered that. Genesis says that he created man in his likeness and image. And because of man's failure, that never changed his plan. His plan hasn't changed at all. Matter of fact, God knew from the beginning that Adam would fail, but it didn't deter him. He continues to pursue having mankind in his image and likeness. And so when we look at the Ark of the Covenant, we already covered about how it was covered in gold, and that's the image and likeness of God is covered the inside and the outside. And then one of the things he says that he's going to put the tablets of the covenant. Okay, the covenant, that's really important. And he's going to instructs them to put the tablets of the covenant into the ark. But here's the funny part. At the time that they're creating the ark, they don't even have the covenants. They don't have the tablets of stone written with the Ten Commandments. They don't even exist yet. And he says, you know, the tablets of the covenant that I will give you. It's important. Why wouldn't he make them first and then make the ark and tell them to put that in there? This is prophetic. And here's the important part. He says in Jeremiah, I will write the tablets on their heart and their minds. That's repeated in Hebrews. So yes, there is a physical deposit of those tablets of stone that's going to be put in the future at that time into the ark. But eventually he's going to, and that's just a symbol, eventually he's going to write those on their hearts and their minds. It says, I will write those commandments on their hearts. See, the tablets of stone is just a decree of obedience, if you will. But God's after your heart. He wants to write those commandments on your heart. So think about that. One of the other things that he instructs them to make is these rings of gold on the four corners. And he tells them to make poles of acacia wood, same wood that the inside of the tabernacle, inside of the ark, is made out of acacia wood. But he tells them to make poles out of acacia wood and cover those with gold. And those will be carried by the priest. So what does that represent? It represents mobility. It represents mobility, on the move. Because he tells them, don't remove the poles. Don't set it in place and remove the poles. See, God doesn't want us to be, and it's part of his image and likeness, but he doesn't want us to be sedentary. He wants us to be on the move. He wants us to always be growing, always pursuing, always chasing after him. Never stand still. What did Jesus say about the gospel? Go into all the world. Doesn't want us to stand still. Doesn't want us to stay still. Also, with that movement, what do the four rings symbolize, and the four priests that are going to carry the ark? Which indeed probably was pretty heavy, because the mercy seat on top was made out of solid gold. So this is no lightweight ark, even though it's fairly small. But what do they represent? The four Gospels. The four Gospels are what gives us the instruction to move, to learn, to not stand still, to not be satisfied when we reach a certain evolution and a certain revelation of who God is. He always wants, there's always more, there's always more, there's always more to grow, there's always more to learn. And that's symbolized in the ark being a permanent, or being in a state of permanent movement. Put the poles in the rings, but don't take them out. Always be on the ready to move. Always be on the ready to grow. Always be on the ready to move. So, a lot more symbolization, metaphors, whatever you want to call it, more revelation of what the ark is all about. But again, the foundation is found in Genesis. God's ultimate goal, not just salvation. It's important, but that's step one. His ultimate goal is a people who reflect him, a people who are in his image and likeness and continue to grow. It says in Ephesians, if you read Ephesians, until we come to the knowledge and the revelation of Jesus Christ. That's his ultimate goal. Read Ephesians. It talks a lot about that. And it's the completion of what God intended for all of us. Okay, so that's part 2. Part 3 coming soon.